Finally, NATO testing its new 6th-generation fighter jet. The French-German-Spanish project, the Future Combat Air System, also known as FCAS, is the most advanced 6th-generation fighter project that will be our topic for today. The 5th-generation fighter, the F-22 or Raptor, which is still the best device in this class, was originally mounted on wings by U.S. The most widely produced 5th-generation fighter, the F-35 Lightning, was also developed by the USA. Paradoxically, though, this prevents the U.S. from taking the lead in the creation of the newest fighters. Debugging and modernizing these airplanes consume far too much money and human resources. There are 2 programs in the U.S. to update both the Lightning and the Predator. In addition to the British enterprises, Italian and Swedish businesses are involved in the BAE Systems Tempest program, which is developing a 6th-generation fighter. However, it is clear that the 2 largest EU nations, Germany and France, can invest more money in the project and have greater expertise in developing aircraft. What exactly is the Franco-German-Spanish FCAS initiative, and why is it the most cutting edge? To start off a brief digression, why do the Japanese, Swedes, Italians, French, Germans, Spanish, and British spend billions of dollars trying to develop their 6th generation of fighters as opposed to using the tried-and-true method? They don't join a collaborative project with the US and then purchase pre-built aircraft, as is the case with the F-35 Lightning at the moment. Most definitely not to demonstrate to the world that great aviation powers still exist. A more practical explanation is a fundamental fear of the future. The Russians are currently successfully testing the Su-57, a 5th-generation fighter, while the Su-35 and II+, a 4th-generation fighter, have been confidently flying the skies for a while. There are various national schemes for 6th-generation fighters as a result of the bureaucratic machinery grinding away. Let's get back to the FCAS project, though. Its development has outstanding kinetics. As part of the Future Air Combat System, also known as the French system de combat aérien du futur, French Defense Minister Florence Parly and her German counterpart Ursula von der Leyen signed an agreement in April 2018 to start work on the project of the future, the Franco-German next-generation fighter. And on October 23, 2018, Dassault Aviation, a French manufacturer, displayed a mock-up of the 6th-generation fighter at the Euronaval 2018 Expo in Paris. From the outside, it resembled a hybrid of the American F-22 and the Russian Su-57. The French asserted audaciously at the same time that the new fighter plane would be vastly superior to the American F-35 and F-22 jets because it could be operated remotely from the pilot. Spain joined the initiative on February 15, 2019. Airbus was chosen as the National Industrial Coordinator for Germany, Indra was chosen for Spain, and Dassault was chosen for France. Then on June 17, 2019, the Le Bourget Air Show, which debuted, included a mock-up of a significantly different aircraft that was comparable to the YF-23 prototype. Remember that the YF-22, designed by a partnership from Lockheed Boeing and General Dynamics, and the YF-23, conceived by Northrop and McDonnell Douglas, were the initial 2 prototypes for the US F-22 Raptor 5th-generation fighter program. The YF-22 then triumphed, though the eventual F-22 Raptor was defeated by the YF-23 due to crucial criteria that allowed supersonic cruising without the need for an afterburner. A mock-up of the so-called remote carrier, or simply an unmanned aerial vehicle, that would accompany the fighter was placed next to the prototype of the Franco-German-Spanish fighter. That is, the designers will put into practice the idea of a swarm, which consists of a fighter and numerous UAVs that carry out reconnaissance and striking missions. It should be mentioned that the Russians and their Su-57 5th-generation fighter have already used a similar concept. The drone Su-70 was developed using stealth technology and is already undergoing testing. But getting back to the FCAS, its creators now favor a manned version over an unmanned one. The fundamental claim is that it will be impossible to reach acceptable autonomy criteria in the next 20 to 30 to 40 years. A 2-seat aircraft with a pilot and a drone swarm moderator as its crew serves as the program's primary layout design as a result. According to this concept, the heavy lifting will be done by cheap, unmanned mules that are connected to safe information channels and are outfitted with sensors and weaponry. It's intriguing this time The new device is created to succeed the Typhoon rather than to replace the Tornado. In other words, it would show up in 2045. The new aircraft, known as Tripoli New Fighter during the introduction, had 2 seats. The new fighter's standout features should be a new system of intelligence, surveillance, and reconnaissance (ISR), as well as communication technology using fictitious satellites. HASP is made to give the fighter information from its airborne radars that are surveying the battlefield from a great height. Additionally, the creators are working on a variation to produce a transport aircraft that can hold attack and reconnaissance unmanned aerial vehicles (UAVs) in its belly. If the fighter collides with a dangerous enemy's air defense system, this equipment will be used. Drones will be swarmed alongside the fighter in the aforementioned scheme to suppress it, which will result in the coordination of the activity as a whole. While some drones from the swarm will directly strike the air defense sites, opening the path for unmanned vehicles, some drones from the swarm will engage in electronic warfare. The long-range airborne and early warning and control aircraft based on the A330, which in this case serves as the Astrobus-based satellite signal repeater, was not forgotten by the developer. The engine for the new aircraft is being developed by a consortium that includes the German MTU Aero Engines and the French Safran Group. The combustion chamber, high-pressure turbine, and afterburner will all be constructed by Safran in addition to designing and integrating the engine. The low and high-pressure compressors, as well as the low-pressure turbine, will be constructed by MTU Aero Engines in turn. The electronic control system for the engine will be developed by the joint venture Aerospace Embedded Solutions, which includes experts from Safran and MTU. Without an afterburner, the engine should be able to propel the aircraft at cruising supersonic speed. The new aircraft should, in short, have everything essential, including poor visibility, supersonic cruising, and the presence of drone sensors in the vicinity. How about weapons? The primary armaments are meant to be hypersonic rockets with air-jet propulsion created as part of the French ASN 4G program. Drones are anticipated to be equipped with laser-guided decoy air bombs that are comparable to American GBU-53 ordnance. The drone's range, meanwhile, might not be enough to destroy the target. In addition, they are a simple target due to their slow speed and poor maneuverability. Another idea is to arm the drone with tiny missiles like the British Brimstone 2, which weighs 50 kilograms and has a range of 60 kilometers. Its rocket engine allows it to travel at supersonic speeds. The French-German-Spanish 6th-generation fighter is expected to make its first flight in 2027 and be ready for commissioning in 2040. The present French Rafale, German Typhoon, and Spanish EF-18 Hornet should be replaced by this aircraft. We'll have to wait and watch if these nations can complete this large-scale project in the allotted time or have a contemporary aircraft that can compete on equal footing with the combat vehicles of Russia and perhaps China. They will need to turn to the U.S.